We are live here with talented, amazing, Grammy award-winning musician Chris Johnson. And we are so grateful to be here in front of you giving this interview today. And I want to say thank you to Chris first. Chris, say hi to the people.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Ashley, for having me.
For
It's
sure.
cool to do something like this. I've never done anything like this, so it's pretty cool.
Yes. Well, this is the first time for everything, and I'm happy that your first time is with me. So I want to just give a brief introduction to Mr. Johnson. He has some of his career and performance highlights include performing and recording with Beyonce, Jay-Z, Stevie Wonder, the amazing Stevie Wonder who just had a birthday, Mary, Let It Be, P. Diddy, Childish Gambino, one of my favorites. And he is also a teacher as well. And we're going to get into a little bit of that further on in the interview. But let's actually hop right into the interview and ask a couple questions.
All right.
All right. So the first question is, what drew you to becoming a musician and specifically playing the trombone?
Well, my mom was a musician, not professionally, but she played the piano, and our piano was at our grandmother's house. So whenever I go to the piano, or whenever I go to my grandmother's house, I'd always pick out songs by ear on the piano. And so
nice.
My mom and grandma saw that I had like an ear for music, so they thought I would be interested in enrolling in orchestra at school. So I did. I played cello. That was my first instrument in third grade. And I loved it. Like, I wanted to be first chair every week. They did little auditions every week for first chair. And I practiced every day. I was like my first real passion. I immediately was drawn to it. My mom took me to see the Los Angeles Philharmonic Orchestra, which is one of the best orchestras in the world. When I was that young, and I got to see like front and center, like right in front of the cellos.
Wow.
And afterwards, somehow she managed to get me backstage, and I got to meet one of the cellists. My mom was like, yeah, she's a professional musician. And I was like, wow. At that time, I only heard professional, like with athlete behind it. Professional basketball player, professional baseball player.
Yes.
And so when I said, you could be a professional musician, that's what I want to be,
Yeah.
I was like, man, you could make a living from playing music. I knew from then on, in third grade, I wanted to be a musician. And what drew me to trombone, in sixth grade, I got to middle school, and they didn't have any like string. They had only beginning strings, people that just started. And so I was way like advanced, like compared to them. And so they had an advanced band, and so the band director put me on the cello with the trombone players, because they read they were on the same range for the sheet music. So I was sitting in the trombone section with the cello, and I was like, man, this is really cool. They were just surrounding me, And then plus my band director played trombone. I would hear him play every day after school. So that's really what drew me to trombone. I asked him, could I give it a try? He was really reluctant at first. He was like, because you're going to quit playing the cello, and you're my best cello player, I said, I promise I won't quit. I promise. Needless to say, I quit, I quit playing the cello. But my wife plays the cello, and that's pretty cool. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I get to noodle around on it every now and then.
That's beautiful. It came full circle.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite moments from your career? And congratulations on your recognition from the Grammy Recording Academy for your participation in Beyonce's Homecoming record.
Oh, thank you. That had to have been one of my favorite moments in my career. Just the Homecoming experience, Coachella 2018. A lot of prep went into that. It was like 6 or 7 months of preparation, hard work, long hours. And just to see it pay off with Beyonce winning a Grammy Award and me getting a little certificate for my little part in it, it was, that was such a rewarding thing to do. And just to see all those people, it was like a sea of people, both weekends, as far as the eye can see, just so many people just packed in there, Now we're in the middle of this pandemic and we have to be 6 feet away. But, the world has totally changed. But that was just totally an incredible experience. And I'm so glad I got to be a part of it. And I'm glad it's on Netflix. It's like people get to rewatch it. And I have friends who tell me like they watch it every day. which is
Really?
pretty crazy to me. Like, wow, you know.
Yes, that you were
So,
part of that.
yeah, you know, that it's really cool. That's like a reward in itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, what do you feel? This is a fun question. What do you feel are some commonly held misconceptions about being a musician that you would like to dispel?
Um, One of the common things people always think about musicians is that they're struggling. They're struggling artists, you know.
Right.
And sometimes, I understand people are kind of like just they don't know, but sometimes it's kind of frustrating, you know, to hear people say that. It's, like
Really?
I'll get done playing a set of music, and somebody will come, "Oh, you're really good. So what do you do to supplement your income?"
I'm sure, yeah.
I'm like, wow, like,
Right. Like, you can't make money from this?
yeah, So that's a common misconception. Not all musicians and artists are struggling,
Right.
If you put in the work, you can make a pretty decent living playing music or just being an artist in general.
Yes. Sister Les says, that's a good one. Yes. And so, what advice would you give to young musicians who may be in that struggling artist phase because they're just getting out there, right? Who are coming up behind you, desiring to enter into the field of entertainment?
So practice, study, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Be the best. Whatever you do, be the best at it that you can be.
Yeah.
Everybody. That's like number one. That's like the curve. Everybody has to practice. Everybody has to be well versed and versatile. But going beyond that, I would say being social and being able to network, because it's not really about what you know. It is about what you know, but everybody else knows that too.
Yeah.
So to get you in the door, you have to know who you need to know, and you have to get out there and meet people. Get out there and be social, and prove to them that you're a good person. That you are somebody they would potentially want to work with.
Right.
I tell people all the time, like, you can be the best musician in the world. You can play all the craziest licks, but if nobody knows you, nobody's going to call you to work, and they're going to call the people. They're going to call the people they're cool with. They're going to call their friends because they can trust those people. They know they're not going to cause drama. They're on the gig. A lot of times in music, we spend an hour to 2.5 hours on stage, and the rest of the time we're all hanging out backstage on the tour bus, seeing the cities we're in. We're hanging out, And if you're the cause of drama all the time, and you're being awkward to be around, or you're being a big downer, people really aren't going to want to work with you. Like they can stand you for those 2 hours you're on stage, but after that, like they're not going to want to be around you. So there's no way they're going to continue to call you for work.
So if you could create your perfect bandmates, how would you describe them?
Somebody who's just cool. I can't really describe it. Somebody around. Somebody who can play, first of all, soulfully and technically and all that stuff.
Right.
That's number one. Someone's quick on their feet, who can think and pick up things right away. And somebody who doesn't cause drama. That's my main thing. I hate drama. I hate to be around it. I hate to hear about it. I hate to hear gossip. I'm all about positivity. So if somebody is putting out positive energy, that's somebody I want to work with.
Right. And here at the Invest Olive LLC, we're about educating, inspiring, and inquiring. You know what I mean? None of that negativity. We're all about uplifting everyone. Period.
Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. So what would you tell yourself if you could reach back and talk to yourself at the beginning of your career?
Oh man, what would I tell myself? Stay on my path.
Yeah.
Have faith. I think I did that pretty much. But just as that's what I would tell my to have faith in yourself, believe in yourself. You can do all things. You can do anything you put your mind to. And I would definitely practice more as a kid.
Really?
Now I have a newborn, and between work. Well, now during the pandemic, I have a lot of time to practice. But while I'm working, and traveling, I don't get a chance to practice that much, but I still want to improve. There's never a point where I'm going to say like, okay, I've arrived. I don't need to improve anymore on my instruments. Like I always want to practice, but I don't always have the time.
Right.
It's a lot of times like you're on the road, you're tired, long sound checks and long rehearsal hours. You just want to go home and relax, and you don't want to practice anymore. So I definitely would have practiced more as a
And you've kind of spoken a little bit about this, but like, how has the coronavirus pandemic affected you, and how have you been staying encouraged during this time frame?
It's definitely affected me a lot, as well as every other creative musician, artist out there. It's totally changed our world as we know it, and who knows how and when we will recover. I'm having faith we will, of course, but who knows when that will be. And we go from doing all kind of gigs, wedding gigs, to stadium tours, to a lot of people were planning to go on tour this summer, and fill up stadiums and arenas and theaters and clubs and all kinds of festivals, you name it,
everything.
Yes, everything. And that went from all this potential to nothing, Now we're at home, forced to be at home. A lot of people are trying to find other jobs at like Amazon and the grocery stores, At one point I'm blessed to be at home because I get to be around my new son, who I just love so much. It's so incredible.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. We had him 6 weeks ago, me and my wife. And he's such a beautiful kid, man. Like it's so overwhelming. And every time I look at him and hold him, it's so cool. So at one point I'm glad to be home. And on the other side of it is like, man, like I'm not really making any money right now. I'm glad that I'm a good saver, That's very important. I would tell that to young musicians. Whenever you get a chunk of money, save it, Don't go out and buy buy what you need. You buy gear, buy things to help you to invest in yourself. But always make sure you have some for a rainy day, as they say.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so important.
This is definitely the rainy day. Yes, even though it's sunny.
This is what they were talking about. This is what Grandma was talking about.
Yeah.
So we're getting into our last couple of questions. So tell us about Jam Card and the new services that you're offering as an instructor.
Oh man, Jam Card is so dope. My guy Elmo Lovano is the creator of Jam Card, and it started off as a social networking tool or a platform for people in the music industry, whether that be people who are instrumentalists, people who are studio engineers, mixing engineers, all kind of techs, drum techs, you name it, people in the music industry. And it's so to network with each other and say, hey, you put all your stuff on your page of what you've done and what you're doing, and people find you on there and say, hey, I'm looking for a trombone player, or hey, I'm looking for a drum tech, and it's really, really dope that they made that. But after this pandemic happened, they really stepped up and they changed the platform. So now people can be booked on there as well. And people who are not even in the music industry can come on there and book people for lessons. Musicians and engineers and producers can hire each other for remote studio sessions, which I recently just got reset up in my apartment. I got all my studio gear, so I'm now set to record from home and send out tracks for people. And
now you ready?
Yeah, I'm in there. And it's really that's something all musicians should have at home too, just to set up to record themselves, because it's investing in yourself. So the Jam Card, they stepped up and they're providing all kind of new opportunities for musicians. And that's one of them, the booking feature they just recently had. So I'm a teacher. I'm teaching private lessons on there. You can book me on there. I teach beginning piano. I teach all brass instruments. I teach music theory. I teach improvisation for people who are trying to play jazz. Music for kids, music for adults, anything involving music, I can probably get you started on your way. So
this is the man to come to, y'all. For whatever you need when you're musically inclined. And so
Yes.
I want to again take an opportunity to thank you, Chris, for coming on here and allowing us to do this interview and really sharing with us during this time frame, during this Corona season.
Oh man, thank you for having me. This is really dope.
Awesome. So, what would you like to leave our audience with to end our midweek motivation broadcast?
Stay motivated, stay encouraged. You know, the world has changed and it's changing currently. But we as humans change throughout our lives, and we should always change and better ourselves anyway. So this is just a moment for us to figure things out, be positive, be motivated, and to think outside the box, especially for musicians. You know, this is our time to be really creative. You know, write that song, paint that picture, write that book, do anything you can, just to better yourself and to better the world, because we need people thinking about bettering the world now during this time. And that's what I'm trying to do.
That's so awesome. And thank you for that. So how can people follow you and support you on social media?
Instagram, T-Bone Chris J, the letter J. Facebook is Chris Johnson. I have an artist page, Chris Johnson. And then Jam Card as well, Chris Johnson on there. I posted about it on Instagram. You can check it out. I have the link on there. Follow me. I'll follow you guys back.
Yes. So follow Chris and follow us at Invest Olive LLC. We're also at Invest Olive LLC on Facebook. So if you'd like to hear more interviews and you'd like to participate more in this experience that we're creating with the Black Motivation Broadcast to educate, inspire, and inquire, this is the place to be. Thank you so much, Chris, for this interview. Guys, we are out.
Bye, guys.